Let's see why Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney for breach of contract. My name is Nathan Lawyer, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel if you like what you hear. Okay, this case is about a breach of contract. I like to keep it simple. I don't care what anyone else is telling you. Now, Scarlett Johansson had an agreement with Marvel Studios, who's owned by Disney. Now, this agreement guaranteed her a share of, quote, box office receipts, meaning receipts from the movie theater ticket sales. Now, Marvel agreed to protect her financial interests in these box office receipts by agreeing the release of the movie would be a, quote, wide theatrical release. Now, this term, wide theatrical release, is going to be important. Ms. Johansson's complaint points to an agreement dated May 9th, 2017, where it states, for the avoidance of doubt, if Marvel in its sole discretion determines to release the picture, then such release shall be a, quote, wide theatrical release of the picture, i.e. no less than 1,500 screens. Now, to truly understand Ms. Johansson's complaint, we need to understand two terms in contract law. First, trade usage and course of dealings. First, trade usage. See, trade usage is terms in a contract that are interpreted as they are used in that particular trade. As an example, the word dozen, if used in a contract for baked goods, is likely to mean 13 instead of 12, the proverbial baker's dozen. See, Ms. Johansson claims that the term wide theatrical release referred to an exclusive release in theaters for an extended period of time. That was roughly 90 to 120 days. And that is what the term wide theatrical release means in this trade, the movie business. Then we also talk about course of dealings. Now, course of dealings is a sequence of conduct concerning previous transactions or deals between parties that establishes a common basis of understanding for interpreting terms in a contract. Here's an example. Let's say I place an order for pens at Penco, and for quantity, I put Neat's dozen. Penco then provides me 15 pens. I do the same thing another 5 times, every time for quantity, writing in Neat's dozen. Penco every time sends me 15 pens. Now I start running low on pens again and send my usual order for Nate's dozen. Penco only sends me 12 pens. Now, because of our previous transactions, Penco would have breached our agreement. The reason why is because our previous transactions has established the common basis of the understanding for interpreting the term Nate's dozens to be 15 pens. See, this is specifically because our previous transactions has established a common basis of understanding for interpreting the term Nate's dozen to equal 15 pens. See, in this case, Marvel Studios' previous MCU films all had uninterrupted theatrical windows between 82 and 159 days, with an average uninterrupted window of 117 days. All of the 7 Marvel Studio films in which Ms. Johansson appeared, her previous transactions, for which Ms. Johansson received certain bonuses tied to box office receipts, none had a theatrical window shorter than 96 days. So based on the course of dealings, the 7 prior MCU films, Ms. Johansson and Marvel had established a common basis of understanding for interpreting the term wide theatrical release. On March 20th, 2019, Marvel's chief counsel told representatives from Ms. Johansson, quote, further to our conversation today, it is 100% our plan to do a typical wide release of Black Widow. We have a very high expectation for the film and are very excited to try to do for Black Widow what we've just done with Captain Marvel. We totally understand that Scarlett's willingness to do the film, and her whole deal is based on the premise that the film will be widely theatrically released like our other pictures. We understand should the plan change, we would need to discuss this with you and come to an understanding as the deal is based on a series of, parentheses, very large box office bonuses. Ms. Johansson's reps asked Marvel about the issue since the pandemic closed theaters. Now, in May of 2019, Marvel's chief executive confirmed to Ms. Johansson's representatives that we totally understand that Scarlett's willingness to do the film and her whole deal is based on the premise that the film would be widely theatrically released like our other pictures. We understand should the plan change, we need to discuss this with you and come to an understanding as the deal is based on a series of very large box office bonuses. However, in March 2021, in direct violation of those promises and her agreement with Marvel, Disney announced that the picture would be simultaneously released in theaters and on Disney Plus Premier Access. Now, because of that breach of contract, Miss Johansson has said that she'd suffered some harms. First, that the box office numbers were down because you could just stream it on Disney Plus, and this was hurting Scarlett Johansson's bottom line. The people who are watching it on Disney Plus would have had to watch it in a movie theater. Second, Ms. Johansson says this kills repeat business. Repeat viewers Marvel banks on for their bottom line. For instance, Marvel itself banked on the repeat views in the past. As an example, Ms. Johansson says Marvel itself has banked on these repeat viewers in the past by re-releasing Avengers Endgame. The complaint alleges after Black Widow's monster opening weekend, that repeat viewing was almost non-existent because the movie was available on Disney Plus, an 80% drop in ticket sales. And last but not least, by not releasing it exclusively in theaters, Disney made money on Disney Plus at the expense of box office receipts, which they would have had to pay Scarlett Johansson a percentage of, therefore benefiting Disney at the expense of Miss Johansson. So what do you think? Remember, these are allegations, not facts, and we're only hearing one side of the story. Let me know in the comment section how you come out, if you think Scarlett has a case or not. My name is Nate the Lawyer. I'm out of here. Peace.